Good morning, Your Excellency President William Samoei Ruto. This is an open letter to you. I do an open letter first because of the situation in the country. But even without this, I've always wanted to meet you from the day you were sworn in. It's been difficult. I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody. I've tried hard. Yesterday, I joined in the space forum, X or Twitter space, so that I could perhaps voice something for your attention. Unfortunately, as in the nature of these things, my attention did not bear fruit. As early as this morning, I've tried to reach you through your aides again. It's been difficult. And I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody. You are the president, and I'm a mere subject. Your president, I address you because of the grave situation the country is in. I know you've heard from many people, but from one citizen who I know you know loves this country. One more voice is not too much. I know you're a busy person. I ask you, Your Excellency, to listen to me. Things are not good in the country. In fact, Your Excellency, this Gen Z thing, if you may call it so, is actually a revolution. It is beckoning us, inviting us to know that times have changed and that we should begin doing things in a different way. There is a problem, Your Excellency. I've listened to you when you have interacted with the nation, the latest, of course, being the address to the nation just before you joined the X spaces. I've listened to you when you addressed the nation on Sunday and on Tuesday. I have followed through your promises and the measures you intend to take, from rejection of the finance bill to a raft of measures you have given up to and including yesterday. Your Excellency, there is a problem. Your Excellency, if you followed keenly the interactions on X, in the spaces you attended or you are to host or you are a participant, you would have realized, if you hadn't known so, there is a problem. Your Excellency, if you want to know where the problem is, I invite you to revisit your interaction in the round table with Linus Kaikai of Citizen, Joe Agay of Nation, and Eric Latif of KTN. These three gentlemen interacted with you, but something kept coming out. Something that was a common denominator in the entire interaction, and which the nation watched keenly. That is what is ailing the country. And that, Your Excellency, is what is the problem with the government and with you. If it hadn't been for your busy schedule, Your Excellency, I would have asked you to replay that interview with those three gentlemen, and I'm sure you would have invited them for breakfast to thank them. From that interview or round table, Your Excellency, and from the spaces interaction yesterday, something is clear. The country doesn't believe you. It can't get that bad. Your Excellency, your rating is terribly low. Your citizens have no confidence in you. It's never good for any country for the people to get to that level. Your Excellency, you are dealing with issues of legitimacy. No president can govern. No government can function when legitimacy issues are hanging over them. Never. Your Excellency, Kenyans no longer believe you. Let me demonstrate this, Your Excellency, with your permission. If you found a hungry Kenyan, Your Excellency, Mr. President, and you promise them you are going to give them food because you feel them, you can see they are hungry, they will not believe you. Let's make it even better, Your Excellency, Mr. President. If you took this same Kenyan and sat him down and told him you are being served food, that hungry Kenyan, Mr. President, will not believe you. Let's make it a little more interesting, much better. If you said, here is food, be patient, it's going to be cooked, that hungry Kenyan, Mr. President, will not believe you. Remember, he's a dying man, dying from hunger. You gotten him from the road, taken to some shelter, some house, given him a seat. He's still not believing you. You send food from the near kiosk or supermarket. He can see the food. It's being taken to the kitchen. That Kenyan will not believe you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir. Even that food, when that food comes from the kitchen to the table, that Kenyan will still not believe you. They will think somehow that food will disappear. Mr. President, even after they have eaten that food, they will still be feeling there's something not right. It's not true. That you are still capable of doing something to reverse all that. That is just how bad things are. And that's why, as a senior citizen, as a father and a grandfather, perhaps a great-grandfather, I advise you to listen to the voices of the people. Your Excellency, as I say so, I want to point out one thing to you, that the people of this country still love you. I've said this and people have attacked me because it is true. Mr. President, you are making it difficult for those who love you. There are people in this country who love you, Mr. President, and they are not few. You're making it difficult for them to continue loving you. It is painful to them to see a man they love making it difficult for them to love him. You may ask, what do I do that I have not done? Your Excellency, I want to point out to you, just want to share with you this, that Mr. President, all those things you have said, nobody believes in them. None. None. Your Excellency, Mr. President, even when you say you are rejecting the finance bill, how many Kenyans believe? It's even made worse by the manner in which you talk about that bill. We all know, Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, 340 billion cannot crash this country. You don't even need to do anything. So all the talk about borrowing, about reorganizing the budget, about sacrifices to be made is not selling. I've said repeatedly, Your Excellency, I hope you now listen to me again, that if you take your budgets, especially the expenditure lines, to a good primary school in Nairobi, they will be able to flag out more than the 300 billion. In fact, I dare say, Your Excellency, if you take your budget, Nairobi Primary School, Langata West Primary School, Kilmani Primary School, Kileleshwa Primary School, Olympic Primary School, Kangemi Primary School, class grade 6 or 7, whatever now grade, they will flag out almost 1 trillion items that need not be in that budget. That's why people don't believe it. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, what would you do? Surprisingly, Your Excellency, what you need to do to save this country is very little. Very simple. Very simple. One, appreciate the magnitude of the problem. Because this Gen Z thing is a revolution, is a wake-up call to everybody from the homes where you no longer treat your children and grandchildren the way we were treated. It's a wake-up call to those people managing government offices, including private companies, that it's not going to be business as usual. You'll have to re-engineer, calibrate how you run institutions, because the people will not allow you. It's about churches and even mosques, that the people of this country, especially the young children, would not allow you to continue using the churches to sanitize the thieves who have stolen from this public, from the public. It's a new Kenya that is being buzzed by Gen Z. So appreciating the problem, Mr. President, is the beginning of solving that problem. Once you appreciate the problem, Your Excellency, there are two things you will not do. One, you will not try to be clever. Nobody will try to be clever. When a problem has reached this stage, nobody should try to be clever. What do I mean? I mean any games, whether to suppress the demonstrations or protests, whether to hoodwink people, whether to divide the Gen Z, any game will not just work. So one, nobody should try to be clever at this juncture. We'll lose our country. Two, working together with one, there should be no games. So that when you say something, Your Excellency, there should be no illusion about that thing. It will be something you mean, even if it turns out you are wrong, but you believed in it and you meant it. If you look at the raft of measures, none of them are convincing. For example, CAS, Chief Administrative Secretary. Why are you suspending? Just say we were wrong from the word go, from Uhuru's time. Because Kenyans spoke loud and clear. They didn't want those assistant ministers. Uhuru brought them back through the back door. Just be categorical. Don't say you are suspending. About parastatals, don't say we are removing 47 or merging. No, just say our parastatals are a liability to this country. But going forward, because we need all of them and even more, only qualified Kenyans who run those parastatals with clear targets to make money for this country, to earn revenue for the country. Because we cannot continue raising all the revenue we need through taxation. There must be other avenues. Those parastatals that are commercial in nature should be what Kenyans use to bridge some of the budget gaps and not to sell them cheaply. Our history of selling parastatals, Your Excellency, Mr. President, has shown we always sell them for a song. Any other measure will not work. And finally, because you are a busy man, Your Excellency, I don't want to take a lot of your time. What you need to do, and you will not be the first person to do it, is to restore confidence among your people. Make the people of this country see that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Give the people of Kenya hope, Mr. President. We are in times when all hope is lost. You need to restore that hope. What do people do in situations similar to ours? Heads of state, heads of government, faced with a similar situation, begin by dissolving government, dissolving cabinet. That may look simple, but there's some form of catharsis. It has some healing power. The people see you, feel them. You understand their problems, and you want to do something about it. Mr. President, anything short of dissolving your cabinet will not wash. It will not work. Nothing, it will not. So don't even waste your time reshuffling your cabinet. Don't even waste your time sending 4 or 5 ministers home. It will not work. I'm being very sincere. You know me, at least, Your Excellency. I'm happy you know me. You know I speak the truth. You know I love this country. And I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Something as simple as that. The story about running government, I heard you on Spaces. And during the same Spaces, some young lady spoke. And she said she doesn't even see what she was going to say. Because what she would have said, everybody else had said. But she said something else, Mr. President. That when you are responding, you are just going round and round and taking them round corners. That is exactly what I'm addressing. Anything short of dissolving cabinet, anything short of, is not a question of reducing advisors. Kenyans don't even know how many advisors you have. So when you say 50%, 50% of what? Supposing you had 10,000 advisors, 5,000 would still be too many. It's not a question of a percentage of advisors. Kenyans want to see specific people, specific names they have heard, like David Ndii. Just tell them to go home. That's not asking for too much to save this country and your presidency. And I can assure you, Mr. President, do what I'm saying and what many Kenyans are saying, you'll be re-elected in 2027 because Kenyans love you. Half measures like sending 3 or 4 ministers home and reshuffling others will not work. Talk about friends. Everybody has friends when they get to power who assist him to get to power. And they're always rewarded. This is not a Kenyan problem. This is an international, it's a global thing. Those who help you get power, those who help you, those who helped you, get some kind of reward. But this is a serious problem we are facing. If they can't understand why you are asking them to go home, then they are not even friends. Moreover, there's so much you can do for friends outside government. I advise you, Mr. President, to dissolve government, to send some of these advisors home, to pronounce yourself categorically on certain issues in a convincing manner, and give Kenyans a cabinet. The moment you mention the nominees, Your Excellency, talk to your people, NIS, talk to your friends outside, talk to church leaders. They will tell you the whole country is at peace with what we have done. Dissolving cabinet to save country and to make it easy for you to govern this country is not asking for too much. The country is waiting. Your Excellency. People keep saying, Manyora, you are a prophet. I'm not a prophet. I just say things I know. For example, I know if you do something outside the time, nobody will appreciate it. You reject the bill, people now start, Ruto must go. Because you waited too late. You came too late with it. Too little, too late. You are asked to dissolve cabinet, you don't. You do 1 or 2 things, you will dissolve that cabinet. Too little, too late. But the worst bit, and history is full of those examples, the best coming from the French Revolution, is that when you begin giving in incrementally, is not only too little, too late, but you come out as weak, as vulnerable. If you didn't get that message from Spaces, then let me tell you, some of the things that were being uttered in that forum could not have been uttered 2 months ago. It means when you delay doing some of the things you should do, when you do them, people don't appreciate them as much as they should. But more critically, you come out as if you are doing them because you are on your knees. And that is not good for any leader. A leader must always be seen to be in control and firm, and only doing things because they are good for country. And even if those demands are coming from the people, it must come out clearly that you have made rational, serious assessment of those demands and you are acting accordingly. Anything else will not wash. I believe strongly that you love this country enough for you to do the right thing for this country now. Thank you.